My wife and I spent half a month planning our honeymoon, and I was so excited for the trip to finally start. But my marriage leave application just wouldn't get approved. Feeling suspicious, I logged into the company's system to check it out. A notification popped right up. The bride's marriage leave days were already completely used up. I totally froze. We literally sleep in the same bed every single night. How could I not know she already took her honeymoon time? I called her up, and the second she answered, I asked directly, "What is going on with your marriage leave?" "Why is it already gone?" My wife Lu Yin just replies, "We have a project bidding soon, so I canceled the leave and didn't have time to discuss it." I just laughed out of pure anger, kept quiet, didn't even hang up. I pulled up her profile right there, flipped to the marriage registration page, and marched straight over to the desk of our new intern, Ba. Today, I absolutely needed some real answers, but right as I stepped out of the elevator, I bumped directly into him. A completely stuffed brown paper bag slipped right out of his hands. Several beautifully wrapped little souvenirs scattered heavily all over the office floor. He looked up and saw me, eyes completely unfazed, then just bent down, picked things up himself, and handed me a box of Black Forest chocolate. "Hey, Diep, my wife and I just got back from our honeymoon in Germany last week. Brought this for you." The word Germany stabbed right into my chest. How many times had Lu Yin leaned into my chest, smiling and whispering, "Once this big project is finally done, we absolutely have to visit Germany, go to the Black Forest, and enjoy a really slow meal right at the foot of the snow mountains." She repeated that exact phrase for 7 whole years, from being a brand new employee pulling all-nighters to becoming a fiercely decisive department director, making that promise an unspoken code between us. Yet the very last time she brought it up was the day we walked right out of the Civil Affairs Bureau, looking down at her phone and muttering, "What is so great about Germany anyway?" Turns out, she didn't hate Germany. She just went there with a completely different man. This is insane. My throat went totally dry. I ignored the chocolate, just stared hard at him and asked, "Do you know I am legally married to Lu Yin?" Ba chuckled softly, flicking a curl off his forehead. "Oh, I know." I desperately tried to find a little bit of panic or innocence in his eyes, even comforting myself with the thought that maybe he was just tricked by Lu Yin and actually knew nothing. But his very next sentence instantly ripped my little illusion to shreds. "That was just a prank on you. The papers are totally fake." I immediately unzipped my backpack, yanked out our marriage certificate, and shoved it right in his face. Look closely. The official Civil Bureau stamp is still right there. Ba sấn gần soát my hand, knocked the certificate down, và without even thinking, he stepped right on it. The heavy sole of his shoe completely crushed our shared couple photo. He gave a cold sneer. "Lu Yin already told me you have severe depression, and you constantly imagine yourself as her husband. Her going with you to that Civil Affairs Bureau was just a boss feeling pity for her subordinate, trying to soothe your fragile emotions. Get it?" After dropping that, he spun around and left me standing there, entirely paralyzed. I am literally the only son of a super wealthy family, but just because she once said she hated rich people. I faked being a regular working guy, eating $7 instant noodles with her, living in a leaky rental apartment, and pulling overtime shifts until 3 a.m. Every single one of her projects, promotions, and investments, which of those didn't I secretly pave the way for behind the scenes? I struggled through 7 brutal years right by her side. Yet the second we got married, I became a delusional psycho, in her own words. Clenching my jaw tight, I dialed my father's special contact, Chu Vuong, and told him to check Lu Yin's official registered marital status for me. Pay attention to this detail. 5 minutes later, my phone buzzed. "Young master, the system confirms you and Miss Lu are legally married, but she'd abused her executive clearance to alter internal records, swapping her husband to Ba. In the future, if you two ever divorce, she can completely blame it on a data entry error and then legally split away half of your assets." I slowly crushed the phone in my grip, my knuckles turning completely white. "Lu Yin, your entire status and the power you hold today were hand-delivered right to you by me. You dared to play me like this, so I will make you pay back every single thing." I gripped the detailed file on Ba, my palms turning entirely pale. He joined the company through a personal interview with Lu Yin, and despite being a junior intern, he makes $100 grand a month. While everyone else claws their way up from the absolute bottom, He basically dropped from the sky onto the 60th floor as the general manager's direct assistant. His home address was even more ironic. That luxury apartment right across from the office is the exact one Lu Nuyen bought just to take convenient lunch breaks. The documents in my hand crumpled into a tight ball. I gladly let her step on my shoulders to climb higher.
And as a reward, she handed the sweet fruits of our labor right over to another guy. Before I could even hunt her down, she called me first, her tone totally interrogating.
"The femme, you actually messed with my profile in the internal system."
Being the boss really hits different. I could just breathe inside the office and someone would rush to report it to her, no matter how close we used to be. She paused for a second, then switched right into her professional voice. "But I am the general manager now, and you are just a regular employee. So how could you arbitrarily investigate me? Besides, isn't absolute trust supposed to be the most important thing between a husband and wife?" Hearing that made my throat feel completely blocked by a lump of iron. For 7 years, I stayed up all night fixing her proposals, handled the toughest clients for her, and shielded her from every single lawsuit. She just had to give me a little emotional support, and I thought it was completely worth it. I casually mentioned the fried dough downstairs was incredibly crispy, and the very next day, she steadily started leaving a bag of it right on my desk. For 3 whole weeks without a break, she said eating well gave her energy to fight alongside me. On my birthday, we were still stuck in that tiny rented room. Working overtime until late at night, she pulled out leftover colored lights from past events, hanging them all over the ceiling. When they plugged it in, the whole room lit up so bright it hurt. We ate some cold snacks she bought on her way back, along with a few beers, squatting right by the coffee table, eating and discussing exactly what we should do next year. She nudged me gently with her elbow, tone totally serious, saying once this busy phase passed and the project got on track, we would definitely save up for a huge house together. Those images wrapped around my heart like a tight steel wire. I threw the screenshot right at her. She would not let me check it because she was terrified I would find out his name. "The legal husband on your profile is Mac Kaba?" She stayed silent for a moment, then explained, "He is just an intern with no background. Putting my name down stops him from getting bullied. That is all." Then what about me hiding my identity to carry all the pressure and hardship for her? What did that count as? I did not want to hear anymore and instantly hung up. The very next second, the desk phone rang with a piercing sound. I picked up, and it was Lu Nuyen, using her general manager title to force my hand. "Diep Pham, get to my office right now." I had to go. Pushing the door open, a figure threw herself hard against my chest. I froze, not even reaching out to catch her. I asked Lu Nuyen why she gave him such special treatment. She just looked up, her warm fingers gently brushing right against my cheek. "He just graduated, and finding work is hard. I only gave him a safety net to use my name. Do not overthink it." I pushed her away hard, my voice completely cold. "So all these years I risked my life for you. Were you completely blind to it?" Lu Nuyen looked at me with deep affection. "All right, stop making a scene." She turned around, grabbed a glass of water from the desk and held it to my lips. "Drink some. Calm down." I turned my face away. Her eyes slowly darkened, and her hand forcefully gripped my chin, forcing the glass into my mouth. Caught completely off guard, I was forced to swallow a few gulps. Immediately after, heavy dizziness hit, and my body crashed onto the floor. In the meeting room, the executives and suppliers were all gathered, everyone waiting for my project report. But because I drank that water Lu Nuyen gave me, my head spun uncontrollably, and I helplessly fell into a deep sleep. By the time I woke up, it was late. I frantically rushed to the meeting room. Pushing the door open, the air instantly froze. Chairman Diep slammed the table in anger. "Diep Pham, how dare you arrive late to such an important meeting?" Right then, Nuyen stepped out calmly, her tone gentle. "Chairman Diep Pham has been working too hard lately. He just accidentally overslept." But her tone suddenly shifted, carrying a hint of smugness. Luckily, the intern Mac Kiba stepped in just in time, and his report was absolutely excellent. I snapped my head up and immediately saw the big screen displaying the exact same design that I spent an entire month visiting over a dozen construction sites to draw. Yet the bottom right corner clearly displayed Mac Kiba's full name. This is where it gets insane. Blood rushed straight to my head. Lu Yuyen did not just steal my hard work, she drugged me into a coma, personally paving the way for Ma Kiba. The executives shook their heads and left one by one,
their disappointed glares cutting into my flesh like sharp knives. Everyone cleared out. Makiba smugly hugged Lu Nuyen and gave her a kiss. "Honey, you really are the most amazing one here."
She chuckled softly, lightly pinching his chin. "Why be polite with me? I told you I would send you straight to the clouds." I tried to suppress my explosive anger, my voice coming out completely hoarse.
That was all my blood and sweat. She gave me a cold look, her tone mocking. "You worked this long and you are still just a low-level employee. Better yield the chance to Kaiba. He needs it more."
I was absolutely enraged by this. Turning around, I wanted to find Chairman Diep to explain, but she suddenly grabbed my wrist, holding tight so I could not leave.
I snapped my head back, unable to hold back, and slapped her right across the face. Makibai instantly lunged forward, catching a stumbling Lu Nuyen. Then he suddenly grabbed a heavy metal folder from the desk and viciously smashed it against my forehead. The sharp edge sliced my cheek, and warm blood instantly dripped down. "You bastard! If I do not teach you a lesson, you will never know your place." My vision went completely dark, ears ringing non-stop. Lu Nuyen took the chance to shove me into the nearby elevator, directly pressing the error button. Darkness instantly surrounded me. The elevator shook violently and suddenly dropped. I jolted awake, pounding the door and screaming, "Let me out of here!" I yelled out, "Lu Nuyen, I have severe claustrophobia," but only her cold laughter echoed from outside. "This is the exact price you pay for angering me. Just stay in there and obediently repent for your mistakes." I begged her like crazy, but she just called the elevator repairman, casually telling them to get off work early. It was not until the next day that someone finally found me, barely hanging on by a thread, half my face stiff with dried blood, my throat so swollen I could not even make a single sound. A coworker quietly handed me a termination notice, their eyes full of pity, but they did not dare to say another word. I wanted to see Lu Nuyen, but heard she had already taken Ma Qiba to a resort for an inspection, throwing a party to celebrate his official hiring. Lu Nuyen even issues an order. Ziafam has exactly half an hour to pack up and leave the company. I don't even bother returning to my desk. I head straight back to the family villa. Chairman Deep, the man who looked at me with such sheer disappointment just yesterday, now sees me looking this pathetic. He is shocked and furious, immediately calling for the family doctor. "Lu Yin? That woman actually dares to treat my son like this." His voice is literally shaking with pure anger. My mother just keeps wiping her tears away. This foolish kid refuses to take over a perfectly good family business, insisting on working from the bottom up, all for a woman who doesn't even deserve it. My father completely explodes, shouting that he is firing her immediately and throwing that guy Ma Qiba out too. I grit my teeth and look up, eyes burning. I tell him that is way too easy on them. "I want to drag them both down myself, crush them to absolute dust. And I want to return as the official company heir to face that awful pair, face to face." The very next day, the company calls an urgent meeting. Lu Nuyen hastily wraps up her field trip, rushing back to meet the newly appointed CEO. She rushes in, looking completely exhausted, pushes open the CEO office door, and the chair slowly spins around, revealing the most familiar face. "Jip Pham, why is it you?" The question just slips out on pure instinct. I just look up at her, my voice completely calm. Why couldn't it be me? Watch this moment. She practically cannot believe her own eyes and ears. "I already fired you," she says, claiming I sneaked in just to corner her. She lets out a cold laugh, saying she actually wanted to leave me some dignity. "But you couldn't even tolerate a single intern, with such a petty and narrow-minded attitude. No wonder I got promoted all these years while you went absolutely nowhere." I burst out laughing, a freezing sound, and point right at the metal nameplate on the desk. "Please, CEO Ziep Pham." Lu Nuyen's pupils instantly shrink, her finger practically pointing right into my face. "You clung to the new CEO," she stutters. Then, as if figuring something out, she bursts into a mocking laugh. "Ziep Pham, I really underestimated you. To get revenge on me, you would even resort to such a filthy little trick." That incredibly confident, dirty assumption makes me sick to my stomach. I spell it out for Lu Nuyen. Not everyone treats the workplace like a trading board for physical favors.
I decisively throw the official headquarters appointment notice right in front of her. Black and white ink.
My ID photo, my name, my personal identification number. Every single detail lands like consecutive slaps right against her slowly freezing face.
Her expression shifts from furious to completely shocked and finally drains pale white. The very man she stepped on and pushed around all these years has now returned wearing a razor-sharp halo of pure authority. Still totally unwilling to accept it, she immediately calls the secretary's office to verify. The voice on the other end confirms it. CEO Diep is indeed Chairman Diep's only son, having spent exactly 8 years and 3 months rotating from the bottom up, and officially takes over as CEO starting today. Furthermore, Chairman Diep specifically ordered that anyone who refuses to obey CEO Diep will have their contract terminated immediately and will never be hired back. A single drop of cold sweat rolls down her temple.
She closes her eyes, taking 3 deep breaths. When they open, her face has already returned to that fake gentle smile I saw for 8 whole years. Ziepfam. She lowers her voice, trying hard to add a little flattery. I was just too emotional yesterday, and because you didn't trust me with my subordinate, I was heartbroken for a moment.
I look at her quietly, feeling something quietly cracking open inside my chest. She adds that I also hid my true identity from her.
She tries reaching out to touch me, but my freezing cold stare stops her hand dead in midair. Can we just call it even now? This calculating face right in front of me is so completely different from the sincere person in my memory.
Something deep inside my chest just shatters. I swear you could hear that little cracking sound, tiny but incredibly deafening.
I just laugh, but my eyes freeze over at Lu Nuyin. You think I sat in this position just to settle some romantic score with you?
From the moment you schemed to steal my proposal, drugged me to miss the report, and purposely locked me in that broken elevator, we became nothing but superior and subordinate.
I take a step back, every single word sharp as a knife. From now on, you should call me CEO Diep.
She finally panics, her voice urgent but still incredibly stubborn. Diep Farm, don't joke around. How can you just throw away so many years of our relationship?
She promises to chase me again using my favorite method. I honestly have to admire her incredibly thick skin.
I immediately hit the intercom. I tell them to escort Director Lu out and punish her by making her copy the phrase CEO Ziep 10,000 times to wake her up.
About an hour later, I turn to my secretary. I ask if Lu Nuyin has finished writing.
The secretary pulls the blinds, sounding a little hesitant. She says, CEO, you had better step outside and see this for yourself.
The entire glass facade of the Diep corporate building and the Times Square below are completely covered in fresh flowers. The massive words CEO Diep are lighting up the sky. Lu Nuyin stands right in the middle of the square, holding 9,999 red roses. Among the florals see, yellow roses spell out, I love Ziepfam. Not just that.
She actually took the liberty of blasting our wedding photos to the entire internal company email system, terrified someone might not know she is the chairman's future daughter-in-law. The secretary cautiously observes my expression. In the company chat, absolutely every single employee is spamming congratulations to CEO Diep. Only Mak Ba throws out a curse, calling me a bastard spat on by the world.
The secretary steps in. Mak Ba is currently pinned down in the break room. How should we handle him?
I give a totally cold reply. Absolutely not. Back then, those two played me like an absolute fool until I was miserably kicked out of the company, just like that.
Letting him off easy right now? That would be way too cheap for them. Drag him down to the square. Let him and Lu Nuyin tear each other apart face to face. Oh, and grab me some binoculars for a better view. Mak Ba charges into the square like a total madman, stomping flowers, kicking over displays. He has completely lost his mind. He yells out that Lu Nuyin lied to him. He pulls her tight into his chest, shaking uncontrollably. How could she treat him like this when she promised she only loved him? He looks like a totally abandoned puppy, eyes red and pretty pitiful. At first, Lu Nuyin looks super annoyed that her little romance act got ruined, but seeing him like that, her face softens right up. Taking the chance, Ma Ki-ba shoves his phone at her, showing the exact announcement I just broadcasted internally.
It clearly lists Ma Ki-ba as her actual partner. I even added a little note. Some people really need to know their place.
Seeing me publicly humiliate her like that, Lu Nuyen instantly explodes with rage. Desperate to save face, she drops a direct reply. She warns Diepfam not to abuse his power to bully people. She claims that since day one, I used my status as the chairman's son to force her into a relationship, threatening to fire her otherwise. She insists the only guy she ever truly loved is Ma Ki-ba. Being betrayed by someone you loved? Getting stabbed in the back in front of absolutely everyone definitely hurts. But this dramatic little stunt completely crushes whatever feelings I had left. That reply definitely counts as solid proof of her cheating. Still, it is not quite enough to force her out with nothing. However, it is more than enough to prove she broke company policy. My very first announcement as the new CEO drops hard. Manager Lu is being penalized for her messy romantic affairs. And for having inappropriate ties with a male subordinate, she is instantly suspended. I will be taking over all her duties personally. It is time she finally tastes what getting your hard work stolen feels like. She will never show her face around here again. And honestly, this is just the appetizer.
Finding out her own office keycard is canceled pushes her right over the edge. Cornered and desperate, she starts frantically smearing my name.
The very next day, I catch employees whispering in the break room. They are gossiping that since day one, CEO Diep used his chairman's son status to trap Manager Lu. They think she suffered terribly without any backing, forced to just quietly endure it. They sigh, asking if money and power mean you can do whatever you want. Flipping the script and claiming marriage fraud is just a super dirty move.
No wonder Manager Lu secretly listed Ma Ki-ba as her partner without going public. They are totally convinced it was pure workplace oppression, not actual love.
Now this is where it gets interesting. During the meeting, everyone is staring at me. Some look pretty mocking, while others just want drama. Before I can even explain, my assistant rushes in. He tells me to check the trending searches immediately.
I open the page to glaring red headlines. The new Diep CEO forced his manager into marriage, abusing his power over a female subordinate for 8 years.
It claims Diepfam violently threatened Lu Yuan before having her completely dismissed. The comments below are an absolute war zone, calling me a fake elite who forces marriages behind the scenes. They say this capitalist playboy just fires anyone who refuses his disgusting demands. They feel so bad for Manager Lu and Ma Ki-ba hiding their true love. People are demanding a full investigation into the Deep Company, suspecting massive shady deals. The internet is completely convinced there are more secrets. Vicious insults just keep rolling in, piling on layer after crushing layer. When a woman wants revenge, every single move is absolutely fatal. I kept my real identity hidden to protect her feelings, avoiding that massive status gap. I personally held her hand and taught her how to read reports. We ran projects together while I poured everything into making her a manager, and she repays me by biting back in the absolute dirtiest way possible. She honestly thinks slapping labels on me like workplace abuser and power hungry will completely erase the 8 years I supported her. She is using it to justify her messy little affair with a male intern. I just let out a cold laugh, lightly tapping my fingers against the desk. Tap, tap, tap. Each sound falling perfectly, like I am carefully crafting something. Looking out the window, my secretary warns that reporters swarm the lobby. You feel that tension building? I just smirk. Nothing to hide, nothing to fear. Straightening my suit, I head directly downstairs. Every whisper in the hallway instantly drops dead. Everyone suddenly pretends to look super busy. The second I step outside, camera flashes strike like pure lightning. Reporters swarm me like hungry sharks smelling blood in the water. They start shouting, "CEO Diep, do you admit to abusing Manager Lu? Did you really get her fired and threaten her into marriage? Now that the truth is out, will you step aside for Manager Lu and Ma Ki-ba's true love?" I press the mic right in front of me. My voice stays totally calm, but there is a hidden edge. The rumors about unspoken rules and forced marriage are completely fake. Our legal team is coming after absolutely everyone spreading these made-up stories. We will hold them fully accountable. Director Lu was officially suspended for cheating in her marriage and having a highly improper relationship with a male subordinate. As for whether she actually broke the law or company regulations, we still need to investigate that a lot further.
I pause for a beat, staring straight into the lens. Every word hits hard. Lu Nuyen and Mak Ki-ba can just wait for their absolute downfall.
The reporters really want to keep pushing, but they fear the DF Group's legal power, and just stop.
I give a soft laugh and lower my voice. You guys are right about one thing, though. If Director Lu and Mak Ki-ba truly love each other, I am ready to divorce her and make them happy.
I already dropped the massive divorce news, and yet Lu Nuyen herself does not even dare to face it.
She keeps hiding, so I decide to make the first move. Hearing she has a private meeting with a supplier tonight, I go check it out.
Inside a private room, thick with smoke, Lu Nuyen raises her glass and bows slightly. I offer this drink to Boss Lee.
But Boss Lee, the biggest supplier in the entire market, does not even bother lifting his eyelids. He just sneers.
Everyone in the industry knows Lu Nuyen is suspended by the DF Group for investigation. The woman who once controlled everything no longer even has the right to offer a toast.
She holds back her boiling anger and forces a very stiff smile.
Boss Lee, Deep Pham is only acting out of spite because he loves me. Every married couple fights sometimes, and once he finally cools down in a few days, I will get my position back. Ha! Boss Lee just blows a puff of smoke right into her face.
Is Director Lu still dreaming? The divorce is out in the open, and it is definitely no joke.
Why don't you call Mr. Deep right now and beg him? Humiliation rushes to her head. Before, Boss Lee used to bow to her, but now he dares to insult her so openly.
Lu Nuyen grits her teeth. If I truly lose Diep Pham, I cannot keep my footing at the Diep Group.
I will split off and start my own company. I came here today specifically to discuss investment. The moment she finishes speaking, the whole room erupts into mocking laughter.
Boss Lee's subordinates laugh until their shoulders shake. Director Lu has absolutely nothing right now, so what makes you think you can start a business?
Another guy shoots her a sideways glance, his voice full of sarcasm. Well, she is not completely empty-handed.
At least she still has that deeply devoted young Master Mac by her side, right? Boss Lai slowly puts out his cigarette, the corners of his mouth curling up with hidden meaning.
I heard this Mac kid and Director Lu have a very unusual relationship. Call him here. I want to see exactly what kind of guy makes you willing to throw away Mr. Deep.
Half an hour later, Mak Ki-ba eagerly steps inside, wearing a sharp suit.
His eyes shine with bright hope, thinking Lu Nuyen has finally chosen him. Even his footsteps on the carpet sound joyful. But the moment he notices the probing stares from everyone in the room, that smile instantly turns incredibly stiff.
Lu Nuyen pulls him forward, telling him this is his big chance. Boss Lai wants to meet you. Before Mak Ki-ba can even react, Boss Lai scans him from head to toe. It is a raw, naked look, filled with undisguised desire. He raises a completely full glass of white liquor. Mr. Mac, I offer you a drink.
Mak Ki-ba tries to take a tiny sip. He is about to put it down when a rough hand grips his wrist. Burning heat presses against his skin, and those fingers intentionally brush past his.
Drink it all. Give me some face. His heart trembles, his scalp going completely numb. He can only grit his teeth and down it, the spicy liquor burning his throat. He barely catches his breath before another glass is poured and pushed to his lips. Good things come in pairs.
Mak Ki-ba instinctively steps back, his voice shaking. Boss Lai, I really cannot drink any more than this.
A subordinate instantly kicks over a nearby chair, the loud crash making him tremble in fear. If you cannot drink, do not come out here and make a complete joke of yourself. If Director Lu relies on this kind of attitude to get investment, it is absolutely laughable. Ever since graduation, Mak Ki-ba has been sheltered by Lu Nuyen. He has never actually seen the dark side of business. Facing this terrifying scene, his basic instinct is to find some support. He hides right behind his lover. He believes Lu Nuyen will protect him like before, but no, her expression suddenly takes a massive turn. She violently grabs Mak Ki-ba's hair, forcing his head up, then smashes a bottle and pours the liquor straight into his mouth. Amidst the chaotic noise and Boss Lai's loud, excited cheering, Mak Ki-ba struggles weakly and falls face first right onto the sofa.
Boss Lee slowly leans in close, his hot breath hitting him, his gaze getting more blatant. Mak Ki-ba looks desperately at Lu Nu-yen, but she just stands with her back turned in the dark corner, perfectly still like a statue.
We are all men here. What are you so afraid of? The laughter from Boss Lee and his entire crew just gets louder and louder. That fat, greasy hand gropes all over his body, and his suit jacket is quickly torn into absolute shreds in no time. Maki Ba furiously curses out loud. In return, he just gets a fiery slap and a harsh scolding, giving you face, yet you act completely shameless.
Now watch this. Right then, the private room door is pushed open and the noise instantly stops. The waiter bows low, respectfully making way for me to step inside. Lu Nu-yen's eyes light up when she sees me. Diet Palm, why are you here? One of Boss Lee's clueless subordinates clearly does not know his place.
He jokes around. Director Lu is quite the charmer, bringing yet another handsome young master here. Shut your mouth right now.
Boss Lee swings his hand and slaps the guy, shouting furiously, "Stop speaking nonsense. This is the young master of the Yep family, CEO of Yep Group." I simply ignore them.
I just sweep my gaze over the person sitting on the sofa, Makiba, clothes messy, his eyes totally panicked.
He looks at me like a drowning guy grabbing a last lifeline. A cold laugh just naturally escapes my lips. So this is all Lu Nu-yen's so-called true love amounts to. Boss Lee immediately flashes a bright smile, practically running over to greet me. "Young Master Yep, what good wind brings you here?"
It is just a misunderstanding. Totally a misunderstanding. We were only joking around with Tiamat. I give a faint smile, saying on purpose, "No worries. Just pretend I saw absolutely nothing."
I only came here today to have a little chat with Lu Yu-yin. Hearing that, Makiba, cowering in the corner, suddenly shoots his head up. His eyes run red with pure madness. "It is you, Diep Pham. This is all your fault. If not for you, why would Nu-yen ever treat me like this? The person she actually loves is clearly me. You forced her hand. Just disappear for good." He howls out loud. Grabbing an empty wine bottle like a wild beast, he charges right at me, eyes glowing red, completely consumed by an urge to destroy. The crowd in the room lets out a few panicked gasps. Boss Lee and his subordinates immediately back away. I just stand there, quietly, waiting for him to stumble right up close. Right as that sharp bottle swings down at my head, I finally lean away. My right hand locks his wrist like an iron grip, twisting hard. My left knee drives straight into his soft gut. "Ah!" Makiba lets out a choked cry of pure agony. The glass bottle shatters loudly on the floor. His whole body folds, collapsing as he gags uncontrollably.
A heavy stench of alcohol fills the room. I flick my hand, adjusting my sleeves. Voice cold as shattered ice. Really impressive. You actually know how to blame someone else.
When you crashed into someone else's marriage, you were pretty smug about it.
Lifting my head, my gaze pierces right past his battered figure, landing directly on Lu Nu-yen's slowly paling face. It is about time. Let us sit down and settle this debt.
I pull out my phone, dialing the police immediately. "Hello? I am reporting a crime. Kim Hwang Club, private room 308.
Someone is intentionally causing injury and committing serious harassment." Pausing for a second, I calmly add one more thing. "I'll also formally accuse Lu Nu-yen, the former head of Ziep Corporation, of secretly drugging the workplace and committing illegal detention. All the solid evidence has been fully backed up by me, ready to provide at any moment."
Diep Pham, please do not. Lu Nu-yen is completely panicking, her face turning entirely pale.
She lunges forward, wanting to snatch the phone, but I easily dodge. She tightly grips my arm, her voice trembling offbeat. "Diep Pham, please, just let me go."
I know I was wrong. For the sake of our past, please do not call the cops. Just hopeless begging, trying to use a rotting past to tie me down. I coldly pull my hand back. She completely loses balance, falling flat onto the floor. The corner of my mouth curls into a mocking smile. "When you drugged me to clear the path for Makiba."
When you locked me in the elevator. When you teamed up with outsiders to force me out. Did you ever think about our past back then?
If I was not Boss Diep today, just an empty-handed Diep Pham, would you even admit you were wrong?
Lu Yuyen, the rules of this game are not decided by you alone.
The cops arrive super fast. The scene is chaotic, but witnesses and physical evidence are all there. Ma Qiba intentionally caused harm while completely intoxicated.
Boss Lee and his goons have clear evidence stacked against them for harassment and assault.
And the entire chain of solid proof I provide about Lu Nuyen drugging and illegally detaining me leaves her absolutely and completely speechless right there.
Getting escorted away, she still turns back to look at me, eyes full of begging and reluctance. Too bad. I do not even bother giving her a second glance. Now watch this. The news spreads like wildfire. That chaotic private room video gets leaked by someone unknown, instantly making all of social media totally explode.
Oh man, what an insane plot twist. This woman is unbelievably vicious. Everyone who trashed the Yep farm before, you better apologize right now.
It is literally the classic farmer and the viper fable in real life. Poor Boss Diep. He got scammed so incredibly tragically. As for Lu Nuyin and Ma Qiba,
one is suspected of being involved in a whole series of major criminal charges.
the other intentionally caused severe injury while totally drunk. Both are handed right over to the legal authorities for processing. Not a single one of Boss Lee's crew managed to escape either. And just like that, this ridiculous drama that dragged on for such a long time has finally and officially ended.
Music fades out.